All right, Leslie Foster is back with us, and before we start the news at 5, let me just say I'm glad to not be alone at the desk anymore.
Were you a little lonely?
Kind of.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But there was a lot going on, so it was okay.
I was going to say, there was a lot to talk about.
It was like 5 minutes in the last hour. Turns out, though, loneliness is pretty common in this area.
Yeah, this is according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and apparently D.C. is the loneliest major city in the country. Can you believe that? And Alexandria, Virginia, is not far behind at number 8.
Let's qualify all this, though, how we're defining loneliness here. They're not talking about you having no friends, even though half of us up here on the desk really are friendless. They are talking about people who live on their own, okay? So let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, so the Chamber apparently analyzed some census data, right? And they found that almost half of the households in D.C. consist of just one person, right? So maybe that's their matrix for saying lonely. Anyway, around the region, Alexandria, like we said, is number 8. Richmond is number 10. Baltimore is number 11. And naturally, this would mean that lots of men and women live by themselves. But it is interesting that Alexandria and D.C. are number 1 and number 2 for the most women living on their own.
All right. So
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
I would think maybe New York.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have left New York, too.
I don't know.
This is very peculiar. So the study says there are pluses.
Questions.
The study says there are plus and minuses for living by yourself, as if you couldn't figure out what those are on your own. Apparently, you can have more freedom and control if you're on your own. This is breaking news. But you also apparently have a higher risk of depression, heart disease, stroke, and Alzheimer's. Now, the Chamber says those are all things to consider if you are looking for a new place to live.
We need each other, right?
We do.
And when you have someone who lives with you, who cares about you, they're looking out for these things. They're encouraging you to, get a little care if you need it.
I bet if the study went deeper, though, they'd find that these same people spend the least amount of time at home because they're out at work and they're socializing and they're mixing it up.
Hanging out.
Yeah. Incomplete data.
We need more information about this. We're going to get to the bottom of it.